So our next item is the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Director Frankel, who is already standing up.
Please follow me in the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I need a motion to, thank you, Director Frankel. I need a motion to approve the agenda.
I second.
And not to be funny, Cheryl, are we electronic today?
Yes, we are.
Okay. I should have asked if there was any discussion after we made the motion and seconded it, but I'm sure one of you would have just blurted it out, so we're okay. All right, we need a motion to approve the meeting minutes of October 4th, 2018.
I'll make the motion to approve the meeting minutes of the October 4th, 2018.
Second?
I second.
Any discussion? No discussion? Okay.
Director McCary, are you yes or no?
Okay. All right, so I think that's probably all the voting we have to do for today. But so the next item is to acknowledge the press, and we have no press present. So even now, we don't have any press present. So I would like chair remarks. Today's meeting is very personally moving for me because I'm ending my 6 years on the board. I'm very happy with some of the things that we, because it was never an I, accomplished. And I really want to thank this board, present board and past board, and we have some past board members in the audience, and a lot of it was a struggle, but a lot of it was success. And I really want to thank staff, because we have some wonderful, wonderful staff who have worked very closely with us to get the things accomplished, and who will be with the future board on the long road to make this community a better place. At that point, I just, again, want to say thank you to all of you. And we're going to turn it over to the next part of our meeting, which is extremely exciting. And this part of our meeting was put together with a joint effort with our communications staff and led by Eileen Paulin. And Siobhan helped us carry on, Annie McCary, or Director Annie, and Steve, and all of you who put so much energy into this list or presentation of the fabulous accomplishments that were made by Third Board this past year. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Cheryl, who will do it electronically. And instead of you hearing my voice over and over again, we're going to have the various, I want to call them, the various directors who led the committees introduce the accomplishments. Okay, so first one on the list. So this is the third year Laguna Hills Mutual Year in Review. And the first thing we will start with, because it's really the lifeblood of our board, is maintenance and construction. And that is led by, sometimes screaming, Director Bada. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam President. Today we are going to talk about our maintenance and construction department. But before I do that, I would like to thank all of you, ladies and gentlemen, in our residence for voting in our past elections and for your continued confidence in re-electing me for the next term. So the most important thing in our department, the maintenance and construction department, would be to focus on our customer service. And we found that we did a survey that we complete most of our tickets that we receive within 30 days. And with that, we have a 99% completion of most of the tickets. So talking about all this, we are going to highlight some of the projects on our project log. And the important one that we do is painting. Painting is on a 10-year cycle, and this year, in 2019, we will have completed 167 buildings out of the 1,405 residential buildings that we have. So 167 plus the freestanding laundries and carports that will get done in 2019. We also have developed a new paint palette for the year coming, the 2020 year. This palette was introduced at the September Garden Villa Association meeting, and in early part of the year in 2020, it will be put up in the community center building also for you to review. Moving on with our projects, you have spoken and we have listened. So what we did is we improved the building signage to a large traffic-rated high reflective material to improve the visibility at night. I know we have an aging community which requires to see them in the night, and I'm one of them. So we thought this was important to us. And this will continue as we do all our building paintings, and the signs will go up as part of the painting. Also, we have enhanced the cul-de-sac signs, and we hope to complete, or we have targeted to complete, I should say, to complete all the cul-de-sac signs in 2019. By the end of the year, all the cul-de-sac signs should be done. One of the main, I shouldn't say main, one of the most difficult parts of our aging buildings is dry rot. And dry rot needs a lot of remediation. So we have a program where we are remediating all the dry rot, and it's on a cycle which we hope to eliminate in the next 6 years. So it may happen in 6 years, but bear with us if it takes a little longer. So to do that, we may have to change some of the building decorative elements because they do cause water to harbor over there, and it damages our buildings. Moving along with the different projects, one of the difficult ones on our project list is the Wasteland. So we have instituted a program called the Wasteland Remediation Program, whereby we go and clean out all the drains and we epoxy the lines, and this is now becoming a big thing for us to follow and take care of. In 2018, up to 2018, we have completed 217 buildings, and this year we will work on 6 more garden villa style buildings, which are 3-story buildings, and it will keep moving on until it is all done. We hope to complete this in the next few years, I would say. Moving on with the different projects that we have in our project log. By the way, we have over 100 project log on our project log. So this is one of the other ones that we keep working on, is the Garden Villa mailroom renovation program, where we remove the old panelings, we finish it with new drywall, paint, trimming, doors, painting, and a bunch of different things. So, and we also put cameras in certain priority locations where we have some difficulty about security. Some of these buildings in the mailroom, we have put in newer style hardened mailboxes to eliminate some of the security risks. With the pipeline program, we also, just as we have waste-lines, we have freshwater copper pipes. Now, those are also aging. So in many places, we have programs, we have problems with the pipe leaking. So we have another program set up for the copper line epoxy treatment. This program started in 2008 as a pilot program. Epoxy lining of buildings as needed was approved by the board in 2010. 10 buildings were completed in 2019. Since the program inception, 79 buildings have been completed, and we wish to continue to do that as we see problems coming up. One of the main programs, other than the epoxy and the painting and all that, is roofing. So in 2019, PVC cool roof replacement program began in March and is scheduled to be completed in October. 28 of 57 buildings have already been completed this year. So we are moving right along, taking care of our roof and avoid moisture intrusion and stuff like that. One of the other things that we did this year was we replaced all the old dryers in our laundry rooms, whether it was a freestanding or a 3-story building. We installed 370 new energy-efficient, coin-operated Maytag commercial dryers. It wasn't the perfect install. I know we all had issues with it, but in the big picture, we did a good job of getting dryers with pedestals and matched it with pedestals for the washers too, which was a good thing for our mutual. Just as we do the mailroom renovation in the garden villas, we also renovate the lobby, do the lobbies. This year we did 10 garden villa lobbies in 2019, replaced the acoustic ceiling, which many people call popcorn ceiling. We removed the wallpapers and carpets and replaced them with new paint and new carpets. And I think with that, it ends my presentation.
Thank you very much, Kush, and thank you very much for taking on the leadership of one, look here, you got on the board, and now here you are. So taking on the leadership of this area,
Thank you.
You do an incredible job, and we thank you. And we also thank the head of the department who is sitting in the audience, Mr. Munoz. Thank you very much. You do a wonderful job. We would be lost without you. So the next thing up, and Steve is going to talk a lot today, so because whenever we couldn't decide who should make the presentation, we said, well, let Steve do it. So it's just, we're going to go over energy and lighting, which is part of M&C, but we wanted to give Kush a break. So energy and lighting, Director Parsons.
Okay, not that I had any choice in the matter. Okay, first thing I'd like to talk about is streetlight acquisition. As many of you may or may not know, we had 759 poles that were owned by Southern California Edison, and we were leasing them. we have, since this year, we have purchased them. The return on investment, they'll be paid off in 5.23 years. And we did this for different reasons, not only the cost, but timely maintenance. We still have a list of things that SCE is supposed to come and take care of. One gentleman I talked to, he'd been waiting over a year for something to happen at his building. And I think that's been taken care of by now. But the other thing is, too, resident safety. So these factors came to play, and we think we made a good decision on that. On the LED conversion, we have conducted a pilot in the past, I think many of you were part of. We're getting ready to do another pilot that's coming up in mid-November, beginning to the middle of November. And we'll see how that goes. And based on that, we'll make a determination on the fixtures for the light pole and the bulbs themselves. Siemens' contract is in place for installation and the maintenance of the new lights going forward. So that kind of gives you an idea that they are working on this with us to make sure everything goes well. Next, on the Eev Charging Station, you may have noticed that behind the community center here. Third Mutual encouraged and supported GRF to do this project. In fact, some of our residents on Third Mutual were part of the Energy Task Force that researched a lot of this stuff and gave it over to GRF and the CEO, and they made it happen. So that's really a beautiful place behind. If you haven't seen it, go behind the building here and take a look. The last comment in this area I want to make is that there's a myth that's going around, and it started a few months ago, and that's about our solar program, that we were not receiving any credits for our generation of excess power that we sold back to Southern California Edison. This is false. From January through June this year, we've received $46,832 in credits from Southern California Edison. So if this continues, which it should through the end of the year, we'll be looking close to $100,000 in savings from our solar program. So that completes my report on energy. And you want me to continue?
Yeah, I do, but I just had, I have a question that probably people are interested in. So you have an energy consultant, so we're gonna make it part of your meeting, you're gonna make it part of your meetings that you keep the community appraised of all the new and exciting things that you're gonna be working on in energy.
Oh, sure, this is only one thing. There are many others to come.
Okay, good. So, and for that also, we have to thank Director Ernesto. All right, so, the next topic that has your name next to it is parking. Okay.
Okay, we used to have a golf cart parking task force. It's parking and golf cart parking task force. It functioned for about a year. We revitalized it this year. And we had several concerns from people up in the wedding cake area between gates 5 and 6. Parking is extremely difficult up there. We have some people that actually get blocked in. They can't get out of their stall. So we took a look at it, and one of the first things we prioritized with them is they wanted some extra golf cart parking spots, actually. And there's already a test that they did up in gate 14 that Rosemary headed up. It worked well, so we imported that idea over. We put some funding to it, to the wedding cake area. So there's going to be approximately 8 spots that are going to be put in this year. Contractors are bidding on this as we speak. And we look forward to hopefully 8, but that'll be depending upon what the price of the bids come in. Next year, we'll be taking up many topics up in the same area for additional parking in golf carts as well as automobile parking. The width of the driveways is not always consistent in each of the alleyways. So we're going to have to figure out something to do with those. So those are things we're going to be working on next year.
So, and thank you very much, Steve. And that too is another area where you're constantly moving and constantly coming up with ideas and constantly working on ways to improve. And that too is on the direction of Director Munoz.
Yeah.
Goodness.
We're looking at next year also of starting a little task force up in Gate 14 to address some issues that we've become aware of. But that's further in the future. Right now, we're concentrating on the wedding cake area.
And this coming year, you will still have 3 directors who live up at Gate 14, which is...
Oh, no.
Yeah, we do. I used to be the only one, so not that we want to pay attention to it because of that, but in any case, we just worry if the gate ever closed, you wouldn't be able to have a quorum, maybe. All right, so the next thing on the agenda is also going to be done by a director who got onto the board and we said, okay, it looks like you would be perfect to take over landscape. You've been on the board for 5 minutes. And Lynn has done an outstanding job. And I don't think that you'll ever get rid of that committee, but I won't say anything. I have nothing to say about it anymore. So at this point, we're going to turn it over to Lynn Jarrett, and Lynn is going to talk about the many accomplishments and also probably some new things.
Yes, I took over the landscaping committee when James Tung, after 4.5 years on running the landscape committee, he did a wonderful job. So he's really a hard act to follow. But landscaping is difficult because it's very visible in the community. No matter where you drive into any direction, you'll see, you notice the landscape. That's the first thing you notice. But I'll talk about right now the landscape efficiency. New customer service process has been instituted this year. They initiated 2 ticket crews and a coordinator to respond to the resident needs. They introduced plant growth regulators to reduce labor hours spent on edging with the turf, resulting in reduced edging costs. They purchased smaller mowers to better address smaller turf areas. You can imagine those big riding motors just don't do it in some of the smaller areas. So that gives the landscape crew a lot more flexibility for the type of mowers they need for particular jobs. They've streamed the landscape request forms process to expedite requests, and they significantly lowered the maintenance costs and reduced inefficiencies by instituting a replacement program for blowers and edgers and other types of small equipment. Roundup, the community had a lot of problem with all the publicity worldwide going on about Roundup. So there was a lot of experimentation being done over there in Building 3486 on Bahia Blanca. And there was experiments done on different type of alternative herbicides. And they ended up choosing Phenol with OroBoost, which has been extremely successful and has really become a big part of our weed control. Tree trimming. I want to tell you, that's one of our biggest expenses, tree trimming and slope maintenance. Tree trimming, the Landscape Committee did approve recently a 5-year species-based tree trimming program, which goes in effect in 2020. We're still looking at different ways to make tree trimming more efficient. And we have to, we're kind of investigating that now, financially and all the way around. The tree trimming in Third Mutual in 2019 was limited to unscheduled requests and safety-related trimming. Gate 14 modernization project, that's going on in cul-de-sac 408 in Gate 14. We're working with 20,000 feet of turf in that area, and we're going to remove the turf in preparation for introducing a low-water, low-maintenance plant palette. We'll end up with a functional, dog-friendly, park-like setting with decomposed granite walkways and a few benches. This is going to be our, really, it's kind of like it's going to be the first project of its sort on a multi-year plan. So this will be the first, and we're going to continue this every year to try to get rid of the grass and the turf, so like so many cities have done across the country, especially where in California, where we have to save money on water. We have to save water. Okay, the aeration project. The aeration project is in process now. You can see by the graph there what really happens with the how they go about working with this process. Anyway, the process creates openings in the soil below the lawn, and it helps the water and the nutrients move into the roots, ultimately reducing the thatch and ending up with beautiful green grass that you'll love. This is the first time aeration has been done in Third Mutual grounds, with the exception of the golf course. And if any of you know anything about thatch, when you walk across some of our lawns, you'll understand, the thatch makes the lawn be this high, even if they try to mow it down. So it's really ridiculous the way the thatch grows. So we really had to take hold. And I think you're going to love this the grass when it comes in. But I have to warn you, it's going to be ugly before it gets pretty, because this is not a pretty process to go through. So it's going to be a few months before we have beautiful grass. Slope maintenance. Third Mutual currently has contractors in to renovate all of the large slopes within the mutual. They will be cleaned, planted, and renovated to the fire authority standards. So a lot of you have seen the people out there, the contractors out there working on some of the slopes. I've seen them on two very, very large slopes in Gate 14. And it's just a sight to see. You see the little guy there, or a couple of them actually, 3 guys, there on the side of that slope. So it's really been a lot of work. But all slopes, the smaller slopes, by the way, will be handled by staff. All the slopes will be maintained biannually when work is completed by the end of the year. Fire risk reduction. This reduces fuel available for wildfires and is done under the direction of the fire authority, with gates 9, 10, and 11 having the highest priority. Mulch. Landscaping makes 100% of the mulch used in the village from green waste, which is produced by landscaping and tree trimming operations. Free mulch is periodically made available to residents. I'm not sure if currently that our tub grinder is totally out of, is it gone, our current tub grinder?
Yes, but we're using at least one on an interim basis until the new one arrives.
Okay, yes, because we're going to get a new tub grinder, so it's going to make a difference. But I have loved working with Kurt Weeman. He's been a joy to work with, and I want to also give credit to James Tung for being an advisor on the landscape committee. He's done a wonderful job. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Lynn. Before we get on to water conservation, which is so important, I want everyone to understand that if a director isn't reporting at the meeting, doesn't mean that the director has an easy job. For example, the person on my right, who is the second vice president, Bunny Carpenter, approves every contract that we sign. Actually, we won't sign a contract unless Bunny has read it, because Bunny brings such tremendous experience to the board and really works with us on purchasing and keeping us under control. So you didn't have to report on it. We're reporting on it. Thank you very much, Bunny. And then also we have another director who isn't giving a report, and that's Director Frankel. But Director Frankel personally drives Steve and Cush, and sometimes Bunny, crazy, to make sure that they're following up on M&C, on energy, and on parking. So we thank you very much for all of your efforts, John, and we really appreciate it. And I know that Cush and Steve really appreciate it too. So thank you. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Director Karimi to report on water conservation. We dragged him into this job, this particular area. He was fighting.
No, Madam President, I volunteered.
Oh, yeah, right. And he's doing a great job, so thank you.
First, good morning, Laguna Wood Village. And welcome to our annual meeting. I want to thank our president for the wonderful services that you've provided and the leadership of the board. Thank you for that, and we will miss you.
Thank you.
About 3 months ago, we kind of reinvigorated the Water Conservation Committee, and we updated our charters. The charter is available online. A couple of items in that was important is educational, information for the members and establishing and maintaining a working relationship with El Toro Water. I'm not going to go through the charter, but based on the charter, we, on September 4th, 3 of the third board member, including myself, Lynn, and Steve, we met with the El Toro Water, with the president and general manager of El Toro Water, and we discussed a range of items of mutual interest, including water quality, infrastructure, the recycled water, and incentives that might be available to the members. I'm going to start with the incentive because that hits our members' pocket. If you're planning to change your toilet or high efficiency or clothes washer, please contact El Toro Water. For high efficiency clothes washer, they have $200 rebate. You can go online and fill the form for it. And for the toilet, it's about $100 rebate. We're going to take this to our committee, which is going to be on October 9th, and we'll discuss it, see if ourselves want to get involved with this program. That means we're going to be able to maintain some of these items in our inventory and do a chargeable services to our members, or the member do that directly with El Toro Water. We haven't decided on that. That's going to be a big discussion because there are going to be costs associated with that and labor and all of that. We have to be careful not to jump into something that may cost the members more money if they do it themselves and get that rebate. So we will discuss that and we'll let everyone know of how we're going to approach that, if that's going to be something feasible that the VMS is going to get involved with. On the issue of the recycled water, the irony of recycled water is we talk about water conservation. When you do water conservation, that you have less recycled water because you don't have wastewater. So what they do when they shorten recycled water, they infuse potable water into the recycle system in order to manage the system. But that should not stop us from conserving water. We need to conserve water because that's the most precious commodity we have. On the recycled water, the new recycled water main lines were established on gate 5 and 9 last year. Work has started in installing new recycled water meter and pumping. Piping has been installed for 4 recycled meter in gate 5, and we're waiting for the health department to do the testing. Gate 11, through our discussion with El Toro Water, they're seriously considering bringing the recycled water to gate 11. That is on the agenda. If we use potable water and they don't provide services for recycled water, they give us some discount for using potable water for irrigation. But as soon as you get on their system that they're going to do it, they will stop that incentive. So I hope that, through our discussion, we force them to, if they get on their agenda, do it quickly, because we're going to lose that incentive, that period of time that they are getting the recycled water into the gate 11. Gate 14, part of gate 14, we don't have recycled water for the irrigation, and that because of the elevation. Putting a pumping station extremely expensive. They said they're not considering it, but we urge them to look at possibility of how high they can go and how much of that hill they can cover, if that's possible. So they were kind of say, okay, but we are not going to stop asking whatever we can do to help our water usage and irrigation system. As far as the irrigation modification, VMS is looking to hire an expert in the large-scale integrated irrigation system to look for improving and upgrading the current system. As soon as that is done and the study is done, following that immediately, we're going to start doing the new integrated system and phase it in. And that hopefully saves a lot of recycled water, because that system is a smart system that's going to tell you when to water, when not to water, measurements, soil wetness, and all of that. So that's going to help a lot. So by doing that. As far as the educational item goes, if you look at that, the only one that I'm kind of looking at is the 5-minute, taking 5-minute shower, if you look at that. I don't recommend that you put the timer in your bathroom and this is 5 minutes, but it really is important. As I mentioned, this is the most precious commodity we have ever, water. So please use it wisely. It takes the whole village. It's not this committee or subcommittee to conserve water. It's each and every member participation. Be conscious about, don't let the water go if you're not using it. If you have a lot of the flowers around your house that use potable water, try to see if you can change that. Talk to the or landscaping committee. They have different type of plant that are beautiful too and uses less water. So please help us to collectively conserve water, and the cost is going to go up. The cost gone up this year. The cost will double up, about 4.5% next year. Whatever we can reduce the usage of water will have a direct impact on our assessment. I'll tell you that. So, and it's not, I cannot do that. I can turn the faucet off in my house, but I cannot come to your house and turn the faucet off. So please help us to do this. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you very much, and for all of the passion about saving water. And Siobhan, maybe you can answer this. If our members or our residents are interested in looking at this presentation slowly, it is available where?
It will be available on the website after today's meeting.
Under
News? Document? Okay.
Documents. Okay, because there's some fabulous information here. And, as we're going through it, maybe somebody missed something or they have a question on something, so it is available. And again, we want to thank Director Poland for doing such a great job with her staff. With her staff who's sitting there to get this done. So thank you. And Director Tung just showed up, so we want to thank him for all of his water work. Advisor. Thank you. As an advisor, Lynn thanks you. You weren't here. So at this point, we have Steve Parsons reporting again. So what a surprise. So go right ahead.
I'll defer to Bunny. Okay.
No.
I want to talk about general services for a little bit and touch on some things. As you can see on the slide, we've been pretty busy this last year, and Eileen has been working tough on this, as well as our folks in general services. But the thing I wanted to point out was that this winter, we're going to have a comprehensive educational program rollout. And Eileen's in charge of that. If you want to raise your hand for a minute, she's in the back there. And this is going to clarify a lot of things that people don't understand. Why do I have to drag things to the coroner? Why do I have to make phone calls to people? What's the city's involvement? I can't read English. All of these kind of factors come to play in that, and that's what she's grappling with now. So we look forward to seeing that come out before Christmas. Okay, janitorial. Some of you may not understand that we've gone to contracting out all of our janitorial services in the GRF common areas, like clubhouses and so forth. And this started being looked at several months ago. It's actually a cost savings to us. The people are able to work more efficient because they aren't bothered with people intervening in their area of work. We have special machines now that are being used in these areas, and it just works out a lot better. It's improved efficiency, cost savings, and presents more of an aesthetic pleasing look.
So
we
you're talking
supported
about
these
night
changes.
custodian?
Night custodial.
So that means all the cleaning is done at night?
Correct. Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. Next thing.
Is wrong or right?
Back to Ernesto and Company, seal coating. Seal coating pavement was accomplished in 33 cul-de-sacs totaling 505,602 square feet. Not 601 square feet, but 602. So we really think that they did a great job there. Seal coating is a must. If we don't do that, then it wears out the pavement faster, and then you really have to get into the construction part of it. But this is an initiative that Ernesto brought in when he came here, and it's worked out very well.
So when we use the term pavement, we don't mean the sidewalk.
Nope, on the streets,
On
as you
the
can see in the
streets.
picture there. You
So-
see seal coating on the left and pavement on the right.
So some of us who come from big cities think that the pavement is the sidewalk, but it's not.
That's in New York, you know, they
That's
would
in
think that.
I just said big cities.
New York, everything is
Yeah, New York
sidewalk.
is a little different.
Everything is pavement. Now, we just want it to be so it's seal, we're not seal coating the sidewalks, right?
Right,
Okay,
right.
just,
Okay, you'll see in the next slide where there's
Okay,
a difference
good.
here. Okay,
Thank you.
paving.
oh, paving.
Yeah, there you go. Now you can see it. Okay. In September and October, Parkway concrete program was in progress. There were 4 cul-de-sacs done, totaling 3,200 square feet of concrete. That's a lot of concrete to happen in a short time. During October, November, asphalt overlay program in progress, completing work in 6 cul-de-sacs, totaling 149,273 square feet of pavement. So if you wonder what the M&C group is doing, you're going to have to follow them and keep up quickly because they move fast.
Okay, oh, so we're finished with that, and now we're going up to another area, which is called Security and Compliance and Social Services. And for that, we have Director Parsons.
I should have skipped that
Don't
meeting.
let him fool you. He isn't here 80 hours a week.
Close to it.
Okay.
No. Okay, we started really insisting on gate access systems being put in whenever I got on the board, which was in 14, and now it's done. And we appreciate GRF rolling in on that, and also United. And we are secure at this point. Gate 11 will be coming along, as I understand, next year. It's up for funding next year, and everything's in place to be sure that happens. Anyway, there were 9 gates completed, and this has improved security and access to the community and cut down on gate runners significantly.
You
I
know-
heard that comment yesterday, and I've been watching my gate 10, and that's exactly right.
You know, that's a very good comment. People still ask me, were you responsible at all for that gate system? So I don't, and I go, yeah. And so I still don't know if the community realizes how significant that has
huge.
been. So
huge.
how does it help you in the area of compliance?
Well, it's stopped some things from happening, but also people are actually caught. I don't know whether you know it or not, that if you come off a major street, you go through a gate. Once you're through that gate, guess what? You're not free. There are cameras that look at you as you're leaving that area. So I know from time to time, I have observed a couple people, and I think they're from outside. They come in the gate, and then they hit the throttle as soon as they're through. Well, they're recorded. So security can follow up with that, and that helps a lot, too.
And
So-
it also helps you with non-authorized people
correct.
entering and leaving the community, which is
It'll count people coming in, going out, and pictures are taken and things like that.
Why would
So-
anybody object to gates? Sounds like it's.
you know, far be it from me to just mention, they still ask. So, thank you. All right, so.
Okay, on the next slide, access system for Gate 11, like we talked about. It's an enhancement to Gate 11, and they've been asking for it. So like I said, it's up for dealing with next year. Hopefully that'll be in place. The Security and Community Access Committee, you'll see an acronym there, SCAC, committee approved Gate 11 security proposal on August 26th. And that's gone forward to GRF, the M&C committee, As you can see, the dates to be held there, and like I said, we're looking at something coming into fruition next year. Onward to Shepherd's Crooks Fencing, and I won't ask how many of you know what this is, but it's to take the place of barbed wire on top of our perimeter fencing, and it's coming along nicely. Actually, I've seen them on the road now by Gate 11, where you can go by and actually see them working on it. If you've been over by Clubhouse 4 in that area was done a couple years ago, and so we're continuing on with that. We actually install and pay for 1,475 linear feet per year, and where that goes, we leave that up to Chief Moy and Director Ernesto Munoz, because they know where the high security areas are, and we fund it. That's all in Third Mutual. So if you get a chance, go down by Gate 11 and you can see it. It's very pleasant to see. I can't wait to see what it looks like when we put it on Santa Maria. But I think it's going to really enhance the look of our perimeter fences. Okay.
And enhance the security of the
Oh,
community.
absolutely. Enhance the security. So anyway, just once again, we fund 1,475 linear feet per year, and that's an ongoing program. Okay, on to security. They had an earthquake expo that happened recently, and it went very well. And if you don't know, the Great California Shakeout for earthquake is happening this month, and I'll let some other people talk about that. But every year, Disaster Preparedness, which is headed up by Chief Moy in Security, has an exercise, and it's done together with agencies around our area, and they practice drills, they practice responding and things. You'll see signs up along the gates too when this takes place. Some other things we've done is updated golf cart charging citation fee. We've updated that. And help establish the Gardenville Association rec room rules, which we were requested to roll in on. And we've worked with the LH21 laundry room rules. Along with that too, like was mentioned earlier, we had some places that some people were coming in and taking some money from us. As far as I know, that has stopped basically. Security has rolled in. Also, Betty and her company from finance are doing audits on these machines to find out if anything's going wrong with them. So I think that program's coming along really well in those two working together. On to storm response, you see here trees down, and last year we went through a lot of this. The response was great from our staff. They were on it immediately. Siobhan, I think, was heading up a lot of that, and they were out there within a matter of minutes, at least in my area. And the management team was engaged and communicating regularly with a lot of people around the area. So they have that plan in place also, which I think is updated, and thanks to Siobhan and company on that. Now I want to talk about compliance and social services. I work very closely with them on executive hearings, and both these sections are very, very busy sections. Compliance itself monitors people that might be in violation of something. They monitor roughly 1,000 cases a month, and that's a lot for just a handful of people. They also work with United, GRF, and us on setting up executive hearings for people if they want to come in and talk to us, or those who have been ticketed for actual violations. There are a lot of things that happen in this area, and if you don't know, in Third, we have a monthly executive hearing session with a three-person committee, sometimes two, but we hear cases if people want to come in and talk to us, and we decide on what goes on. And as always, though, people have an option that they can request a separate hearing with the board if necessary. They want to appeal, that's a possibility too. But an update on this, we've gone through the accounting database, we've gone through the compliance database, and we are current up to this point, with the exception of moisture intrusion. That's being worked on, a lot of emphasis being put on that. And I feel very good that we've gone through the backlog on that, so that has really helped a lot. Also, like I mentioned, the aged accounts in accounting have been taken care of to this point. We just took care of them recently. On to social services. Do you know about the social services department? I would ask people to respond to that. If they don't know about it, please let me know. Please let Chief Moy know, but it's also in this building, right down here on our right as you go out the door. It's a great section. These people are trained counselors. Not only that, but they set up many, many programs to help people. Falling is one of our big problems in here. They have started a program for helping people that can't keep their balance. And it's just a super, super section. And these folks are just tremendous. My sister lives in a huge 200,000 person senior community in Florida. They have nothing like our social services, nothing. And we've got people that are coming in who are working on their degrees to become agents for social services and be licensed. We don't have to pay them, and they're actually helping us out. So it's a great, great program. So if you don't know anything about social services, just go down and ask them about all the different programs they have. It's just a laundry list of them. And they can really help out in so many different cases. So with that, we'll go to the caregiver policy. We've gone through that, and we modified it a few times. And as you can see, it's not an easy thing to do. We've had several departments in with us, working things out. Siobhan's been working out things. CEO's been working on things. We've asked people to come from the outside. We've actually talked to outside agencies. And we think we have a pretty good caregiver policy at this point. But one thing I wanted to bring up is the very last line there where it talks about caregivers. They have their own special ID card, and it's required to be worn in plain sight while in the village. And it carries their ID card. So if you know any caregivers who are in the area, please be sure that you tell them, if they aren't wearing it, that they need to be wearing their badge. Okay.
Thank you very much, Steve, for doing all of this reporting. We do, and we appreciate all of your hard work. The thing is that Steve didn't single-handedly run all of these areas. He, for example, in the social services thing, area, and he worked with Director Bruninghouse. Roy was the one who really chaired that. And unfortunately, or fortunately, Roy has moved out of the community, which is why he's no longer on the board. So when it came time to report, again, Steve has a very good TV personality. So
I was volunteered.
And so we asked him to do it, and because I didn't want to do all the talking. So thank you again. All right. So the next area that's coming up is key to all of us, and that is the area of finance. And for this, we are going to turn it over to Director Pearlstone.
Thank you very much, Madam President. I think the presentation up till now makes it pretty easy to walk through the finance part of it because you can see just how many moving parts are going on in our community, and they have to be funded. And you want to make sure that money's spent wisely. So what we put together today are just some key metrics so people who want to follow the financial part of our community understand that way we watch things and see that we can get all those areas covered and keep costs stable. And I think the message has been delivered very successfully. And I like starting with the bottom line. So on this slide on the screen, you'll see that our 2019 plan versus 2020, the net increase is going to be 2.3%. That includes GRF's portion, Golden Rain, and that's below inflation. And so I don't know what you may have been spending money on lately, but to do anything under the average inflation out there these days is remarkable. And there's another element that you'll see throughout my pages that is even more important. A lot of people don't recognize it. I don't think I would have seen it had I not joined the board. And that is how much catch-up work is being done. The dry rot, the Wasteland, a lot of landscape catch-up. And so there's two things going on, improvements, but we want to make sure there's quality throughout the process. So there's a lot of things that from prior years of maybe the financial management hadn't been as strong have to be rectified. And I'll first start by thanking Jack Connelly, who was the treasurer before I took over. Unfortunately, he got ill and passed away, God rest his soul, but did an amazing job with our leadership group of setting the right priorities. It made it very easy for me to step in and just make sure that things stayed the course, and this page proves that they have, and it's certainly our responsibility and our goal to make sure they continue that way. On the next slide, I think it's important to kind of see the history, and you'll see that our assessments have been pretty darn stable. If you look at the big picture, you may not like the idea of seeing an assessment decrease if services decrease. So reasonable assessment increases that bring more value, get our community stronger, get quality put in. And the main thing we're working on every single day is trying to prioritize high impact projects that will really affect the most residents' lives. And the projects we're working on, I feel very, very positive about. Give a lot of credit to our board and our staff for making sure money isn't being directed to things that aren't as high a priority. And you can see the numbers look extremely attractive over a 5-year period in terms of keeping things stable. On the next slide, again, just more reinforcement. This breaks it out by third mutual's portion of your assessment, because there are multiple components. Our mutual, and then GRF has a separate part of the assessment that's built in, and that's on the next slide. Take a second and look at that one, if you don't mind, Cheryl. You can let them catch up and see the numbers. I don't need to read each one to you. You can see it's been extremely slight in terms of the increases over years, and GRF has been able to manage things fairly well as well. So the overall impact, as I said, between 2019 and 2020 is under 3%. We feel extremely good about that. So moving on to the final metric I want to share financially, and that is taking a look at our reserve funding. I would say there's a lot of pride on our end to share this with you. It's a recognition that there's a lot of work still to be done. We want things to be safe. We want things to be stable. And our reserves are the highest they've been in 10 years, which does not show a straight line. It shows there had to be active management to get this turned around, and it's been done. And so you can feel good about the people watching your money and make sure that it's getting put in the right direction and also being reserved to make sure things can keep moving forward positively. The other metric that I always share every month in the board meeting, so we put it in this packet for our year-end review, is the average resale price. You know, again, as an accountant, my background, it was perhaps the most boring job ever to come in and tell people, you know, what the numbers look like. But as a business owner and a treasurer and a shareholder, which everybody listening to this who owns a property is, numbers tell a very different story. You can look at it and try to recognize, did you get your money's worth? And so you start looking at different things in the numbers to say, where can things be improved? And one thing is, how are things going in resale price? Do more people want to live here, and are they willing to pay more? In a market where that's not true everywhere. And you see, year over year, things have looked extremely positive, and they're getting even better. Who knows if that'll keep up? Things have become very tight lately, but we're holding our own, and we can actually provide you evidence that we're doing better than average on the next page, where you see how our average price, or the closed sales, the number of units sold, on average compares to Aliso Viejo, surrounding community, and we're well above them on average and in the current. So again, you want to know that your dollars are being well spent, you want to know that the community is growing and improving, and you want to know that we're putting the dollars towards the right priority items, and every metric we can share, at least currently, and again, we hope we can do it year over year over year, but all the credit to the folks that, you know, stepped in and developed these plans over the last few years and then realized we need to prioritize to make sure that the key things are getting done first, and the things that might be nice pleasantries or improvements, sure, let's address them, but not before the needs are taken care of. And I think that's the end game results you're seeing in our financial information. So, quick summary. We managed the budget very carefully. It's an extraordinarily comprehensive process, overwhelming in fact, but every number gets scrutinized up and down. And in the end, we were able to keep the increase in the assessment extremely low by managing money effectively, but also by having a nice contingency fund that we were able to apply some of. So some of the things we've saved for a rainy day were used to benefit the residents by not seeing things being increased. I think that's a positive to know that we're managing things that way when we can do that. We're making sure reserve funding is adequate and always watching that, so we make sure we don't ask for more than we need, but we make sure we get enough. I like that. And average sales price looks good, and we're doing well compared to inflation, consumer price index, other indices in terms of controlling cost. Again, very, very pleased and proud to be part of the board and the group that helps manage this money, because the last 12 months have looked extremely favorable, and we certainly hope we'll keep that going in the future. And finally, just one last acknowledgement of the work of Rosemarie DiLorenzo, just a remarkable leader, a remarkable job, and has set the tone that, you know, we hope we can keep up with what she's put out there for us, and we'll certainly miss her. So thank you.
Thank you very much, John. I thought everyone was going to save those comments for the end, but that's all right. And here we have another one of our directors, Director Annie McCary. We just call her Director Annie. And Annie is another one. Oops, you know how to write? Gee, you're in charge of communications now. And she jumped into the job, and she's doing a fabulous job, and we thank you. And she was a big part of this entire presentation. So we're going to turn it over to you. And look, we've been doing this for an hour, so I think we're good with our time. What do you think, Eileen? I'm great. Okay, so Annie, do it quick. No.
Thank you, Director De La Risa. I do want to make one correction in something that you said. When you said I volunteered, I was actually pushed. So.
Yeah.
Pushed?
Gently, though.
At least you didn't say dragged.
Yeah.
So thank you again. So as marketing communication in terms of our residents, we start the whole process with new resident orientation, and that is conducted monthly. And it's presented by one staff member and one board member, and we alternate that between each other so that one director is not presenting at every meeting. And we are accompanied by one staff member as well, which is very, very valuable, because what we find is as we as directors talk with the new residents, the staffs are able to show them on the website how they can get through some of the documents that I'll talk about later. In 2019, 58% of new resident household attended new resident orientation. And we really want to get the word out that as a new resident, it's really, really important that you do attend that new resident orientation. We do alternate the orientation times between morning and evening for some residents who may not be able to attend or may still be in the workforce. Next slide. As part of communication, the Village Docent Tour Program is available, and it's offered as a marketing outreach to prospective residents looking to learn more about the community. In 2019, 709 prospective buyers, new residents, and real estate agents toured the village through August. Next slide. The Marketing and Communications Department has a comprehensive website. And recently, there's a resident portal that has been launched. And on this website, residents can have access to news, to schedules, policies, resolutions, agenda meetings, calendar, anything that goes on in terms of our board is available on this website. And one of the values of having staff at the new resident orientation, they have an opportunity to present to residents how to navigate through this website. And it's getting more and more improved as we go along so that it's easy to navigate through. And it's updated, the information is updated on a regular basis. Next slide. We also, in terms of communication, have the Village Breeze, and it's emailed monthly to 12,000 plus residents and staff. And one of the things that we really enforce in new resident orientation, we need to have a residents' email address. So if you don't have your email address, it's very difficult for us to reach out to you with some of the communication. So if we do not have your email address on file, please make sure that we get that. In addition, printed the Village Breeze is actually printed in addition to being emailed throughout the village. So you will be able to pick those up at the concierge desk. They are available if you need them. And a lot of very interesting communication is written by members and staff on the board, members of the board and for staff. So you can look forward to that monthly. The next slide. In addition to that, there are lots of professional branded communications available and distributed to residents, and they are displayed throughout the village, and I believe they probably are displayed at the library as well. Whenever programs are implemented here in the village, there's a flyer or there's some email that's available on the website. Brochures available. We have farmers market. Whenever there's swim classes, whatever's available, the communications department does an amazing job of making sure that this information is communicated to the residents.
And that's
that is.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
one of the things we didn't put in here is about the e-blasts that we have. And I'm gonna look at Eileen, but maybe in our next next issue of The Breeze, we could, because I always ask her, what is this out? What is this one for? And when it's, so just a reiteration of the fabulous facts associated with that. Thank you very much, and thank you for the great job that you're doing. At this point, before I recognize outgoing directors, which means I would have to recognize myself, I want to thank the cooperation. A thank to the presidents and members of the other boards. Thank you, Juanita, and thank you, Beth. We have probably the best spirit of cooperation between the boards, working together to try to say, well, let's do this, well, let's do this, and it really works very well. And I know, and I'm confident, or I hope, that it will continue. And I would like to also thank the many advisors that we have. Some of the advisors are sitting in the audience. Wei Ming is there, so thank you. Thank you, James. And thank you, Bert Baum. You at least advise me all the time. So if anyone is interested in being an advisor to the third board on any of the many committees that we have, please, I tell you to contact Siobhan, but she want to pull my hair. So I think you should just contact Steve or contact the board members, because we're always looking for advisors. At this point, I do want to thank the directors who are no longer going to be on the board. That's me. Thank you. And we want to thank Roy Bruninghouse for his hard work on the board. And we also, and we wish him the best. He living closer to his family now, not that he was that far away, but so we're happy for him. And we want to thank and remembrance our director, Jack Connelly. This is probably one of the first times that we experienced the loss, except for a family member, of someone that we worked with and knew, and what a fabulous personality he had. So we remember him and appreciate and loved and cared for him. Okay, so I have acknowledged the directors with and then there are two other directors who have expiring terms, but they've been elected again. And one of them, so I'll acknowledge you, Steve Parsons. So you're back on for 3 more years. And I will acknowledge you, Kushbada. You're on for 3 more years. Oh, maybe longer, I don't know. And I have this on my agenda, but I'm not supposed to, I don't know what I'm supposed to say. Election results of the directors. So, okay. Kushbada. Oh, I already, election results. So Kushbada, Ralph Engdahl, Steve Parsons, and Craig Wayne were all elected for a 3-year term, which will expire in the year 2022. We also would like to acknowledge, Cheryl, will you raise your hand if I'm doing something here? We want to acknowledge the Inspector of Elections. That was Catherine Burkhart. This is Unilect Election Services. We changed our inspection of elections. And I'm not supposed to leave yet, even though I'm expired. But we are supposed to ask the new directors to come up, and we happen to have 2 empty seats. So Ralph and Craig, we ask you to come up to the dais. I come from New York, so I have an accent. And we were invited up. And I already introduced the continuing directors, so I don't have to say it again. And at this point, instead of calling it member comments, we're going to say, which is different, audience questions and statements. And I'm sure that Cheryl has a list of people who want to come up. Then we have director comments, and we're adjourned. And look at that. We're going to make it on time. So, Cheryl, could you please let us know who is coming up? And before, while they're on their way up, I really want to thank all of you who did your presentations today. You did a fabulous job, so thank you. Okay. Yeah, Gerald.
All right, our first request to speak is Ed McGill.
Ed McGill, 2390. I just wanted to touch on the fact of leadership under Rosemary. I think the board was, the first board after VMS was established was a powerhouse board. All the projects you're hearing now that are in process have been accomplished and are ongoing, where the majority of them were proposed and initiated under the leadership of Rosemary. And we still have 3 of those members on board, Bunny, Steve, and John Frankel. But we had a group of others too. We had Bert Moldow, Bert Baum. We had quite a few others, James Sung in the water department. There was a number of them. Bill Walsh was another one. All these people came up with a number of projects when it was necessary. And it was necessary because we became self-governing. They thought about it and they initiated it. And that's what it takes for a strong board. So just in touching with the new members, that's what we like to see continue as residents. New ideas, new ways to accomplish things. That's all. Thank you again, Rosemary.
Thank you, Ed. I thought you were going to come up and shed a few tears, but that's all right. It was close. All right.
I call to the podium Jules Zollin.
Good morning, Jules.
Good morning, all. Jules Allen, 31. You're starting my time before I even have a chance to start. Can you give me about 3 minutes? Thank you. Jules Allen, 3124A. Our bylaws say that when the number of board candidates does not exceed the number of seats, those nominated shall be declared elected. That's what our bylaws say. But we ignored our bylaws 3 years in a row, and we spent $60,000 unnecessary dollars, and this is madness. A board's duty is to husband its money. And ignoring our bylaws violates that fiduciary duty. Some say California law mandates formal elections. It doesn't. In fact, it doesn't even require elections. Hey, statutory interpretation is my specialty. I'm the attorney that got hundreds of federal judges to radically reinterpret the Federal Trademark Act, and Congress then revised the act to accord with my interpretation. So I put my money where my mouth is. Last year, I gave this board a 9-page, single-spaced legal analysis. It's pretty dense. I'm not sure anyone even read it. It provides 5 separate reasons why we don't have to conduct formal elections. And Governor Brown clearly agreed because he vetoed an ill-conceived attempt to change the law, saying essentially that HOAs should have the right to determine their own election procedures, which is what I'm saying. Some disagree or are too timid to challenge what passes for common wisdom. So my brief provides a safe harbor procedure I guarantee would pass muster. So even if a judge ruled that our bylaws violated the statutes, and it doesn't, no judge would require us to have a formal election. So why waste our time? Because Third's lawyer said so. I've challenged her to put up or shut up. Just answer my questions. Just say anything. What has she done? Silence. A lawyer's job is to zealously fight to advance the client's interests, not hide behind common wisdom, especially when there's a risk-free alternative. It's in Third's financial interest to stop this embarrassing waste of money. I think you're being ill-served by telling you to do something that's laughable. Candidates in an uncontested election pleading for our votes, conducting so-called debates as if there's a real competition. What there is in an uncontested election is a real charade. Candidates are even provided with the questions they're going to be asked beforehand. Anyone who remembers the movie Quiz Show will recognize that for what it is, a public fraud. Do your duty. Put an end to this waste of money. Follow our bylaws. Cancel stupid, uncontested elections. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director Zalin. As you well know, you were answered by our attorney, so we're not going to go into he said, she said. We also made our decision not based on just the words of our attorney, but within conversation with our management, with the attorneys from the other boards. So we thank you for your interest and your zeal. We are very committed to the financial interest of the community. So thank you. Who is next, Cheryl?
I call to the podium Robin Meter.
Good morning.
Good morning. I was recently appointed co-captain of the LH21 building 3371, and I own apartment unit 1A. And I came to this meeting after having had a meeting with our building residents earlier this month, in which we discussed the possibility of creating a non-smoking building. I was urged to come forward and express the strong interest in our building for that. Of 21 units, 8 are pro non-smoking and 2 are opposed. Probably, we didn't have a vote. There are 5 rentals plus 3 units that are rented out, but 3 units that are vacant. 5 rentals, 3 vacant units with absentee owners, and 3 units, we're not sure because they did not attend the meeting. So my purpose in coming today is to invite other three-story buildings, whether they're LH21 or Garden Villa, to join us in brainstorming what can be done. We realize, and we were told by Stuart Hack, how many obstacles there are in the way in terms of California law, and not just of board policy. But I invite people who own units in other 3-story buildings. We can maybe brainstorm some way to do something. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We had worked on this about 2 years ago with another building who was interested, and we had a lot of information which we forwarded to Stuart. And I know that not smoking is very important to the community. We just worked with our security department to try to update the rules. So I know that that's important. So I'm sure that that will stay alive. And does anyone have anything they wanted to add to that? No? Okay.
Well, I just want to make a comment. One of the things that we found out with that study was how much it would cost. Okay, and that really impacts, the decision on whether someone really wants to do that. And I remember it was something like $20,000, to declare a building non-smoking. So you have to ask yourself, whether you want to impose that cost on your building.
So yeah, well,
Sorry,
we don't generally have.
I'd just like to get a copy of that.
Yeah, I believe that information was sent to Stuart. So but again, I just say, and when I gave my answer, I'm sure that this will not go to sleep at all. Anyone else? Yes.
I call to the podium Lily Lochter.
Good morning, Lily.
Hi. I've lived here 16 years, and I have a unit where I have a front and a back because it's an El Doble with a garage. And the landscaping was wonderful. And now all of a sudden, like usually somebody would come every Tuesday, and one could go out if you had a problem or needed something pulled. Now it seems to me that everyone who knows anything about landscaping has been fired. So about a couple of years ago, we started having a problem with a weed. It's a very beautiful weed, big green leaves and makes a little flower, but it overtakes everything. So one time they came up and said this was a disaster area, and they cleaned it up and replanted, but nobody's following through. Like the other day, there was somebody new in landscaping. Her name is Mary Bell, and she's very nice. And she made an appointment and said someone was going to come because right now some of this weed is, you can barely walk up to my front door because it's all over the pavement. And then they never showed up. And also, I had come to the last year's meeting and requested that this recycled water that is being used for the landscaping, we should have an independent source check it out. And I don't know whether the gentleman who talked this morning about landscaping, whether they did that, but things are like, for instance, my tangerine tree has turned completely yellow. And you look around and some of the old trees are dying, and I wonder whether we had that recycled, water checked out. I called the water department, and they came up one time, this was quite some time ago, and they said to me, well, you know, we buy a lot of our water, and we don't really know what's in it. I think it's really important for us to know for landscaping and also what happened to all this guy. The last one they sent obviously didn't know the difference between a flower and a weed, and he pulled out a lot of the flowers. The weed is all over again, and I think we really need some good help in the landscaping department. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lily. In the essence of time, I don't think that we'll make an individual comment, but I am going to please ask Lynn, these are my last parting words here, Lynn and staff, so I'm looking at Siobhan or Jeff, but we will get back to you. And Lynn is in charge, at least today.
Whoever gave the information that they didn't know what's in the water is totally false information. By law, they require to test the water and provide the test result to every resident of the county, not just us. And I have seen the result of it. I just want to...
Okay, so, excuse me, all right, we can't have a debate, and Lynn, Ray's also, we will get back to you. And thank God it wasn't somebody on our staff who said they didn't know what was in it. It was somebody from the water department. I bet Jeff was happy about that. Okay, is there anybody else? Okay.
Our last speaker is Bert Baum.
Oh. Okay, Mr. Baum.
I'm Bert Baum, 3524B. I just happened to be walking by and I noticed there was a meeting here, and it's a real interesting meeting, so I want to thank you all. But I'm here to really recognize the job you've been doing. I've worked with many of you, and also I served for 3 years with Rosemary.
Oh, Rosemary.
And I have to say, it was quite an experience. She did quite a job, and I think this community should recognize it. She had tremendous energy, and she was aware of everything that was going on, which was quite a feat. So I want to wish her well and thank her for the job that she did, and I think it's important for the community to recognize this. And I noticed that as the last couple of meetings went on, she seemed to be smiling more and more. And now I could see she's smiling all the time. I don't know if there's any correlation with that. So I want to thank all the members. I want to thank the people that I work with. I really appreciated being on the board. I appreciated their assistance and their comments. And I want to wish all the new board members well in the task. And I think the residents should recognize that the people who are on the board have a tough job and they try to do their best. And they're all volunteers. No one is making any money out of this, despite what you may hear in terms of rumors. So again, I want to wish you all well and thank you personally, and I'm sure from all the residents.
Thank you, Bert. Okay, so we're almost up to director comments, and that will be the end of the meeting. So, did anybody have anything they wanted to say to any of the comments who came up? No? Okay, well, or if you do, you can make it during your director comments. I don't want anyone to feel slighted. So we didn't ask Siobhan or Jeff to say anything. So they could speak when we go over the director comments. So we're going to start with Jeff. See, Siobhan thought I was going to start with her, and she was giving me this look like, all right, we'll start with Jeff.
Well, two things. One, to the whole board and the new members of the board, look forward to working with you and continue our trek and our journey, which I think has been a good one this last year. And I appreciate all the support that you've given to VMS and our staff. And so with that, my last comment is to Rosemary. I want to personally thank you for your leadership, not only for third, but obviously you were on the panel in which I got selected, so I appreciate that element too. And I just think that you've done a great job in the leadership of third with your team, and I just want to thank you for that.
Thank you. Okay, Ralph, you have anything you want to say? Except I'm tired already? Okay. Kush.
I don't know where to start, but what I want to say is welcome to our new board members. I'm looking forward to working with you guys for this new term. And the next thing is thank you for my continuing board members. We had a great time dealing with many different difficult projects and items. And lastly, to Rosemary, for your guidance, for your great demeanor, and the smiling face, sometimes angry too. But we had a good time and appreciate everything. And you were the reason why I am on the board. So thank you. Appreciate
it wasn't even safe to go to the gym. That's where I found him. So you have to watch it now. Yeah. So thank you very much, Kush. You've done a great job.
Thank you.
And Lynn.
Okay. First of all, I want to thank the advisors. I have thanked James Tung, but I don't think he was here. I don't think you were here when I mentioned your name earlier. But I wanted to thank Stuart Hack, Randy Scott, and Sharon Molinari for serving on the Rec Room Subcommittee. Good job, folks. I want to talk about the staff for a moment. In talking, throughout, we board members, we go out in the community, we meet a lot of people. And since VMS came into play, and the staff, it seems to have gotten better and better over the past few years. Used to, when PCM was here, all we did was hear a lot of complaints. And our staff, I think, is really great. And I really feel fortunate to work with some of them. And I will name a few, but not all of them. But I will say Kurt, Eileen, Siobhan, Eve, Cheryl, Ernesto, Belny. A lot of more staff than that, but those people I just want to earmark. And I haven't worked much with Jeff, but I appreciate his leadership here. I really want to tell you how much I liked working with this board. We have we've had a great board. This is my first year, and I really enjoyed working with everybody. We have such camaraderie among each other. But I do want to thank Rosemary for her leadership. one of the things that when Stuart Hack and I met with Brad after he came on board, we met with him and Rosemary's name came up, of course, and he said, that woman has the best memory of anybody I have ever run into. And you know, we realize that because she doesn't forget anything. She has a great memory, but it's really served her well on the board. So appreciate that. And I really want to welcome the new board members because I think you'll enjoy working with us and we're going to enjoy working with you. And I've enjoyed working on the board. And Rosemary, I wish you a lot of luck and thank you so much for everything.
Thank you, Lynn. And Lynn and I go back a lot of years, so thank you. Money, yeah, we go back a lot of years too.
I don't think I can say much more than what Lynn said, and I am a person of few words, so I do want to thank Rosemary for her leadership because I've been on the board for 5 years now, and Rosemary has always taken a leadership role, whether she was president or not, and helped form our board so that we are a strong board, we work together, and we make good business decisions.
Thank you, Bunny. Steve.
Yeah, I too want to thank Rosemary for everything that she's done. People may not know it, but when she goes home, she's working on stuff for here. And I've called her at night and found that out to be true. We've talked a lot. She's helped me out a lot, and really appreciate that. So I hope you have a good vacation, but get back here soon, okay?
Thank you.
I want to welcome the new board members too. Thank you guys, and appreciate all that you've talked to me about so far and where you want to go. The rest of the board members, appreciate working with you and look forward to some more years ahead of us, working closely together. And I have a special thank you to John here, our treasurer. When Jack Connelly died, he really stepped up. I mean, Jack helped train him a little bit, but man, did he have boxes of stuff to go through. And I moved him from point A to point B so he could go through them. He didn't want to see me coming anymore. But, but John really dug in, found stuff, started asking questions, and he's full of initiatives, which I really love. So, John, I thank you so much for that.
You know, I've said it before, but I remember when Jack was ill and he resigned being treasurer, and there's John, and John said to him, "Come, will you support me in running for being the treasurer?" And I'm laughing because I'm going like, nobody else wants to do it with not only does anybody else want to do it, and no one else will do it with, except for Wei Ming perhaps, with the vim, vigor, intelligence, dedication, et cetera, that you have shown for it. So I said to him, "Don't worry, John, I'll vote for you." And we were like laughing because we knew that was a shoo-in, but I didn't tell him that. So thank you, John. Okay, have anything to say, John? You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm going to honor the memory of Jack Connelly and his famous quote, "Let's move it along," because the other board members have said everything I could possibly say, but I would just highlight 3 things. Number 1 is I want to do a special thank you to the staff because they all know me now and I ask a lot of questions, and they've really worked hard to get me the information I'm looking for in a really positive way. So I think, have developed really good communications. The new board members, I want to wish you well. The rest of the board, love working with you guys, and of course I've told you a million times, I hope you've heard it by now, what I think of you and the role you've accomplished as the leader, so thanks for that.
It's all good.
Okay, I know. Okay, John?
I would like certainly to welcome our new members, Ralph and Craig, and also to mention that the primary requirement, number 1 requirement for board members is they have to care. And in that regard, thank you, Rosemary, and thank you for all of your efforts. You measured up well. And one last comment with regard to staff. We have 1 professional engineer on board. Thank you, Ernesto. Without you, I don't think we'd survive.
Okay, Resale.
Well, I said the thank at the beginning. I should have saved it, so.
All right.
Thank you
Okay.
again.
You're welcome. Annie?
Well, you know,
Oh.
I'm not done.
Oh.
That was for you.
Oh, okay.
I just want to mention that we have a very active, vibrant community, that there are a lot of talents in this community. I urge the talents that are exist in this community, if you have problem, bring it, but please, please bring your solution with you, because we need help to get things done. It's the collective effort. Wisdom of one is just a wisdom. Collective wisdom is a success. So please, if you have solution, make sure you share it, bring it on. On the water issue, the last time that we met on September 4th with the El Toro water, we asked the same question because we had a very kind of brief report on some trees maybe not doing well with the recycled water. We asked them the question about the salinity of the recycled water. Yes, the water is, recycled water, the salinity is high, but there is no evidence that damages the tree. Yet we talked to our landscaping department, Kurt, and he's checking if there are any species of the trees that might be susceptible to high level of salinity. That is not the job that I can do, or just the landscaping is a botanist can tell us if that's the case. But we raised that question. They have the result water, the testing results for potable water and recycled water available online. Anybody go to a Total Water and check those out. They have the result. So if somebody gives somebody wrong information, please don't take it as a fact. Thank you.
Thank you. Annie?
Yes, kudos to what everyone else has said about you, Rosemary. Those are my sentiments exactly. I also want to welcome the new board members, and I want to say to the residents and the community as a whole, one of the reasons I had an interest in being on the board is because I wanted to be a part of my community that I love so dearly. I wanted to know how decisions were being made, and I wanted to know if there was anything that I could do to sort of follow in the path, because I felt the ones that had gone before me had done an amazing job. And I just wanted to be a part of a solution and not part of a problem. And as my time on the board has been very short, I've learned so much about landscape. I've learned so much about maintenance and construction. I've learned so much about finance, stuff that just, it never occurred to me living the really amazing life that we have here in Laguna Woods. And I also want to say to Rosemary, your thumbprint, your fingerprint is on each and every one of us as I see it. I kind of cringed when I realized that you were coming to your last term, your last days, but I also see you in the hallway chatting with Steve a lot. I see you speaking with other directors, and I know that you really have left an imprint on a lot of us. So thank you again, and thank you for my fellow directors for welcoming me into the community and for nurturing me and teaching me so that I will become a more enlightened, more involved director. So thank you again.
Thank you. Craig, you have anything you want to say, or?
What else could be said? I'm at the end of the line.
All right.
Just thank you, Rosemary.
Okay, and welcome. Siobhan?
Also, everything has already been said, but want to express staff's appreciation to Rosemary for her great leadership. And again, as Annie said, you've taught us all a lot, and that'll help us become even stronger moving forward, so thank you. And then thank you for the third board. We had a great year, enjoyed working with each and every one of you, and look forward to working with Ralph and Craig as they join the team.
Thank you, Siobhan. Last thing that we didn't do is we have to thank Cheryl for putting up with us all the time. Where's that report? Where's that? Can we have a copy of this? Can't you just make a copy again? Whatever, whatever we would say. So thank you, Cheryl, and thank you, Jeff, and thank you, Siobhan, for all of your help all the time. At this point, I adjourn this meeting. Yeah, this meeting is adjourned, right?
10-minute break.
And then it's going to have a 10-minute break, and then they're going to be calling another meeting, but I'm not. So thank you. I don't call the next meeting, because when I leave, I'm gone. So thank you all very much. This has been a fabulous experience, and don't you worry, you'll see me again. Thank you. Bye-bye.
If we could have everybody take their seats, please, we'd like to continue.
By the way, Steve, I have a recommendation for you. Past the
Okay.
minutes.
Yeah, I have a pen.
Okay,
Please conclude your remarks.
that's a good idea.
Not your time is up.
This is
That's a good
Rosemary.
idea.
Well, there's Roy.
Okay.
This one's for Rosemary. That one's for Roy.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Where's Resale?
That's for Roy.
I'd like to call the next meeting to order. This is the 49th organizational meeting of the Board of Directors for 3rd Laguna Hills Mutual, California Nonprofit Mutual Benefit Corporation. This is on October 3rd, and it's today, Thursday. Okay, approval of the agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, are we voting electronically? Okay,
Yes, I have that ready.
watch your screens, please. There are extra in the back. You only get one. Okay, is it
I'm having
working?
an issue with my.
I don't have anything yet.
Okay, we can vote by hand then.
Oh, okay. Okay, all in favor of approving the agenda? Raise your hand, please. Okay, unanimous? Okay, approval of the minutes of October 4th, 2018, 48th organizational meeting of the members.
I move that we approve those minutes.
Okay, is there a second?
I second.
Okay, any discussion, corrections, omissions, additions? Okay, hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of accepting these minutes? Okay. Okay, unanimous? Okay, member comments. Do you have any member comments at this time? Cheryl, any?
I do not have any member comments.
Okay, we'll move on from there to line item 5, election of officers by opening of nominations. Okay, we will start out with the position of president of Third Mutual, and anybody with a nomination?
I have one.
Okay, John?
I would like to nominate Steve Parsons for president.
Okay, is there
I
a
second it.
Okay,
Do we need a second for that?
not necessarily. I'm not going to call for discussion, though.
100 reasons why we should vote for you.
Okay, any other nominations? Equal opportunity here? Okay, do I hear a motion to cease nominations?
I'll make a motion to cease nomination for president.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Do we vote by secret ballot?
I thought if there's no competition,
There's
it's just
no-
automatic.
Yeah,
If there are no other nominations, then whoever was nominated is voted by acclamation.
acclamation. Okay. Thank you. Okay, now I will entertain a motion for nominations for first vice president. John?
I nominate Annie McCary.
Okay, Reza?
I want to nominate Kush Boda.
Okay. Any other nominations? Okay. I would entertain a motion to cease nominations this time.
I make the motion to cease nominations.
Okay, is there a second?
I second.
All in favor? Okay, we have 2 that have been nominated, Annie McCray and Kush Bada. Ballots are coming around.
So please put the name you're voting for on your ballot, and then we'll collect them and tally the votes.
What about our name? No?
Yeah.
It's a secret ballot, so don't put your name, just who you're voting for.
It's still secret.
You need to vote for the person.
Okay.
No, you don't need it.
Have all ballots been turned in? Yes. Okay. We'll stand by while they count the votes.
say I'm going to go over the vote with you. So we got 1, 2, 3, 7.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm going to give it to
Steve
to announce.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. The vote was 7-3, and Annie McCray is our new first vice president.
Yay.
So welcome.
Can she go over and have your chair now?
I'm not sure she wants to. Okay, nominations are now open for second vice president. Do I hear a nomination? Raise it. Okay. John?
I nominate Kush Bada.
Okay, any other nominations?
I'm in demand.
Okay, do I hear a motion to cease nominations?
Make a motion to cease nomination.
Second? Okay, all in favor of ceasing nominations? Hand vote. Okay, any opposed? Okay, we'll begin balloting. Okay, the results were 4-6, and Kush Bada is the new second vice president.
I have to follow your footsteps.
You gotta learn how to sign contracts.
But you'd be the default person.
Okay, I would like to open nominations for secretary at this time. Okay, Reza and then John.
You nominate Lynn Jarrett for secretary?
Okay, Lynn Jarrett's been nominated. John?
I nominate John. Not
He's
this
fine.
John, that John.
John Pearlstone? Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and turn that nomination down, but thank you.
Okay, he's withdrawn his nomination. Do I hear any other nominations? Okay, hearing none, I would ask for a motion to to close nominations. Okay. Anybody like to move? Okay. Okay, second?
A second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, then by acclamation, our new secretary is Lynn Jarrett. Okay, I'd like to open nominations now for treasurer. Okay, Kush.
I'd like to nominate John Postone.
I'm sorry, John. I'm going to go ahead and, no, I'll take that number. I'm sorry, John. That's what I wanted to say.
Are there any other nominations for treasurer? Okay, do I hear a motion to cease nominations?
I move to cease.
Second? Okay, all in favor? Okay. By acclamation, John Pearlstone is our treasurer to continue on. Thank you. Okay, we've finished our corporate officers, and I'd ask Cheryl at this time if we need to do our resolution.
Yes, we need a motion to approve the resolution, which will show the new board officers. So we need a motion and a first and a second, and then we'll vote.
Okay. Could I ask the secretary to do that for us?
I move that we approve the resolution, election of officers.
Okay. Okay, any other discussion? Okay, all in favor of the resolution? Okay, thank you very much. Is there any other business we need to take care of, Cheryl, at this time?
No? You can
She says
adjourn
that
the
with a
meeting and
smile.
go to lunch.
Okay, hearing that there's no other business, I will adjourn the meeting, and thank you so much.
Yeah. Congratulations.